Morning, everybody. 17th of June. We are Signal Centre Talking Ball. Joe Neighbour, Steve O'Hare, and Ian Coleman. Morning, guys.
Good morning.
All okay?
Yeah.
Yes, not too bad, thank you.
Good. I'm excited today.
Oh, football.
Oh, yeah.
Football's back.
It's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming.
It
Is
might
it?
be very short-lived excitement because we're playing Manchester City this evening for our first game back. So,
Oh, you'll smash them.
oh, you reckon we're 7-1 to win? It's ridiculous.
They haven't won a game in about 3 months.
We haven't lost a game in 3 months.
Exactly. What can go wrong?
Actually, that's not true. We lost to Brentford the other day, 3-2.
Well, you've played a game?
Yeah, played a couple of friendlies.
Oh, okay. Has everyone been doing that? I didn't even realise.
Yeah, been a few friendlies going on.
Oh, lovely.
Sort of my dream team out. You can make unlimited amount of transfers. So, yeah, bit of excitement.
Yeah, I did hear as well that sort of like when the unnecessary shopping opened this week, Tottenham went out and bought a trophy cabinet.
Did they?
Seen that.
Bless him.
I know.
Yeah, so I'll be around my dad's later with my brother, sitting in the garden watching the football. He's going to put the telly in the garden for us all, so we can
nice one.
distance while.
I hope you don't pee down then.
Yeah, I do as well.
We had
Depends what the score is at the time.
Yeah.
We had a bad thunderstorm again last night. One of the houses up the road caught fire. Got struck by lightning.
No, really?
Yeah.
I didn't think. I thought that was like a made-up thing. I didn't really think things like that happened.
All over Sheffield Facebook this morning.
God,
ambulances and all sorts.
We've
it was
got
a proper storm.
Thunderstorms due this morning, but no sign of it just
this
yet.
Morning?
Yeah,
I've got to do my run this morning.
Yeah, I've got
get out early, Stevie.
Have to get out early doors. How far are you up to now on your couch?
We did a 20-minute run the other day. I don't know if you're supposed to be doing. Well, I mean, I think we did about sort of 3K or something. It was.
Okay.
So we got to up that quite a bit still. I think he's going to make us. Michael Johnson's going to make us run harder today.
Okay.
I think it's broken down again. It was a flat 20 minutes run non-stop with a 5-minute walk, walk and a 5-minute cool down. So that's the most we've done. So I mean, Tina did really well doing it. And my knee held together, but it is more of a walk than a run, really. I think sort of people are looking at us thinking, why are they walking backwards? So
listen, you're out getting active and moving around, so that's the main thing.
Yeah, and then you look forward to the gin at the end of the day to sort of relax those muscles.
Yeah,
of course.
Any excuse to have a gin.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Good luck. Right. So markets all sort of reversed again yesterday. A bit choppy in certain markets. Equities look as though they're pretty much higher across the board today, and things like gold and safe haven assets are being sold off. Just throw up the screen now. We've got FTSE 100 today. We've had a go at breaking above yesterday's high after a little bit of a dip, and that dip I think was around the close. So yeah, about 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
That was on news that came out that Beijing, I think, had shut schools because there's been another wave of COVID.
137 they're up to.
And also there were some big numbers or a big spike coming out of Florida as well, from what I read. In the US. And some certain stories that seem to be happening but not attracting as much media attention as they probably should is that I think there's some conflicts going on between India and China
Pakistan?
On the border.
I thought it was India and Pakistan, like
sorry,
Steve
you may
said.
be right.
No, I was guessing. I was just
that's
doing an educated guess.
With, isn't it? No,
South Korea's going.
It's China and India.
Right.
I need to do a bit more research into what that is because I've only just seen sort of a snippet.
I've not seen anything this morning.
There was also some issues on the Korean Peninsula coming to a head as well, which have impacted markets potentially. But what I'm liking about potentially about this FTSE setup is that we obviously highlighted this head and shoulders top last week. We broke down, we hit all the targets on the way down, so that played out really nicely. But now we're seeing quite an impressive move back towards the neckline, and we've had a go at breaking above the high of yesterday at 3 o'clock. and we're just below that at the minute. So maybe trapping a few people in here. That I think there's a decent reason to be selling that around about 6,315, 6,314. And if we've had a sort of push up above yesterday's high and now back below, that could be a reasonable sell opportunity. So, going to keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
That's
your trade of the day, isn't it? That's
it could well be. Yeah, talk myself into that one. Anything you guys have seen on the charts that you want to mention?
Go on, Steve. You go first.
No.
I just wanted to sort of go on about. We were talking about Gartley patterns yesterday and how choppy price action is. Blah blah blah. So this is the dollar index chart. So you got 5 days of pretty mixed price action, and if you go down to, let's get it down to a 2-hour chart. Here we've got impulsive move higher and then these sort of corrective moves lower. Now that wave, I think it's just in one wave. So a lot of the time when you hit these 50% levels, you have a tendency to bounce up into a correction and then come lower for the deeper pattern. So in other words, that. And if you go to, so that would be bearish for the dollar. And if you go to other pairs, this is euro dollar, 78.6% here, swing high. Again, cable 78.6, swing high. This one maybe not quite as aggressive, 78.6 down here, bouncing off the 50% level, and it's the same for the commodity pairs. So 61.8% going up to 78.6, etc., etc. So I think today, again, we're just going to see more choppy price action, especially in the morning, I think. And then, of course, we've got Powell out this afternoon for his second day in front of Congress. So that could cause us a bit more choppy price action, basically.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. Continuation of non-trends. Chibbly choppy chop.
This isn't helping me at all, both from a sort of like talking bull and an intraday analysis perspective. This choppy price action, it's
Steve,
killing me on the P&L.
You've got a, you need to share your screen.
Okay. I don't know if anyone wants me to share my screen after the performance I've been after the way I've been performing.
Well, I think we're all having similar sort of troubles. There's lack of follow through in a lot of markets that we follow, and it's causing it to be difficult. I mean, yesterday one of the trades that I caught, which is one of the first ones that I've caught in a while that seems did okay, was the oil trade, sold into that retest of that head and shoulders, around about 78.6. So I think we were short there at 39.05. So really caught that quite nicely, but it hasn't really followed through in the way that I would have hoped, and it's just chopping around again. So today, looking at actually selling a break below that low that we posted this morning at 4 a.m, hoping that we see a continuation lower, but it really is quite challenging at the minute.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw it over to you, Steve. You've got the charts.
Yeah. I mean, the one market really sort of standing out for me, I looked at this last night and posted a trade idea on it. It's been triggered this morning, so I thought I'd just go through a little bit more detail of why I picked it. And it was, I mean, it was after we had the 3 o'clock sell-off, and obviously then we had the recovery after that. And from the weekly chart perspective, we've got this bearish candle that we had last week, and we had the sell-off lower. So I'd naturally be looking at this weakness continue. We broke the sort of like the previous low, and but we've seen this obviously nice recovery into this morning with a bit more risk on appetite. Obviously, you can see on the choppy price action that we've seen over the last few days, a decent sell-off, no follow-through, rally back. Then we get the follow-through the next day, and then we get the recovery, and it's absolutely spinning me at the moment. But I really broke it down to the hourly time frame and came up. I've been obviously this analysis is from a few days ago. You can see this 127 extension level and the 161 extension level above that, but the 127 is quite a good one in these corrective sequences. So I was looking at around 22,700 with a stop above the downward trending resistance line. And as you see, we're at that now. So that's going to be my gun to the head trade this morning, as long as it hasn't been stopped out by the time I get to talk about it in about 3 minutes time.
Okay.
Anything else? Obviously silver. I'm looking to buy a dip in silver. I still sort of like, obviously, I favour that as a safe haven asset along with gold. Euro sterling, I think we're in this bit of a range at the moment, which is 90.55 top, and well, I'm looking at this like more intermediate range rather than anything down here. I'm looking
There's a lot of markets that appear to be in these sort of range patterns, and that's obviously why we're seeing the chop that we are.
Yeah, 88.65, the low of that range, but you can see the sort of the spikes in both directions. Let's get rid of that just to sort of make it a bit clearer. Rejection up here. So I don't know. It's let's see. There must be another fib we can throw in here around about the 38.2, I suppose. Yeah, that's where we've. So it's only a small correction when the euro sterling's had. But I don't know. You're still. We've got the Brexit negotiations talks going on. Euro still seem to be favoured at the moment.
We had some headlines out today from UK, didn't we? We had core CPI, which came in to the downside. Prices continuing to fall across the board. So yeah, not looking great on the data front.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, I mean, if you look at this sort of 4-hour hourly chart on that euro sterling, it's, as you say, just a complete choppy mess.
What have I done there?
You know, pretty rough trading. I mean, look at it.
Yeah. Woo, woo. Yeah, all good fun. It's like a little roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know whether
the opportunities for range trading, but certainly, you know, I don't think you're going to get any big risk reward returns out of that market at the minute until it breaks either way.
No, I think that like a lot of the crosses, that they're pretty decent for sort of that range trading. But you know, once you get the bigger majors moving, the dollar moving, or euro or sterling or yen moving, then it's sort of like it seems to be one-way traffic, and then but the follow through just doesn't seem to be there. So everything seems to be chopping about.
Yep, indeed.
In uncertain times, so we just got to try and adapt a little bit to keep coming up with the decent risk reward trade ideas.
Yeah,
that's it.
And you know, muddle our way through this drawdown period.
So anything else before we move on to gun to head?
No.
Trump's been having a go at Germany.
Has he? What's he been saying?
How rude.
He told them because he's taking his troops out.
I know it was about NATO, wasn't it, or something? He didn't think that they were making enough contributions to it.
Yeah, I think he called them delinquents.
Oh yeah, that is bad.
Yeah,
that is
yesterday,
bad.
A bunch of delinquents. So,
I don't know how all the delinquent people feel now about that.
Delinquentists.
At least they're recognised by Trump, and they must sort of like take that sort of as some sort of
bonus.
Yeah, maybe so.
Anyway, I don't think anyone should really pay attention to the name calling.
No. Okay, so guns ahead. We had 2 trades yesterday, as we always do, and we had trades on Bitcoin, which, you know, when you want Bitcoin to do something, you know, move somewhere at least, it, you know, normally does, but yesterday it didn't do anything. 4 ticks. You know, I think that's probably got to be a record, hasn't it, for doing a Bitcoin trade?
I think
so. 4-tick movement over the course of a day. Euro yen was stopped, but we did have a win on dollar index of 1.95R.
Nice one.
Was looking better actually, but dipped a little bit into 9 o'clock, which isn't a problem. Overall, that puts us at a new high on the P&L. So we had that dip down.
Record high.
Throughout, well, the beginning of June,
Not record.
End of May, and yeah, that is new high.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Marginally.
Yeah, so, double top.
Stop trying to sell everything.
Got to be in it to win it. What else can we say?
Okay. Yeah, so, if I call a double top on it, it's probably going to go through it. So I'll call a double top on it.
Maybe, hopefully. Okay, so
look at this.
touched upon it earlier. That's not what I'm looking at. I am going for FTSE because I mentioned it.
Did you get a snapshot of that, E? That's his secret trade.
Yeah, I've got it all. It's all on tape, mate.
Get Ian
it's
on
all
it.
on tape.
We won't
What
see
are all those
for a
wiggly
week.
lines you've got? What are those wiggly lines? I'm all over that.
Okay, so FTSE got this head and shoulders top that we saw on the hourly chart. We hit all the targets on the downside, so arguably it's sort of done its job. Whether or not this neckline will hold, I don't know, but I quite like the level. We're having a go at trying to overcome yesterday's high, which we haven't done yet. We've closed just below that level over the last hour. So I'm going to sell it here at 62.92, and I'm going to keep a real tight stop just above
Good R.
the neckline at 63.20. I'm going to target a move down to 60.80 just to.
What's that? 7.5 R.
7.56 R.
No, if he gets that one, he'll be flying on the P&L.
You have to be in it to win it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So let's see. Selling FTSE today. Again, selling indices, which bit of a thankless task because as soon as things start going down, the US start pressing the print button and it all goes up again. So let's see if there's any more appetite for some strength in equities today.
Good luck.
Who wants to go next?
I'm ready.
Go on then, E.
Go.
CAD Swiss. That's how much I like the majors at the moment.
Good old barrel scrape.
I'm looking at this. Impulsive move down. Pretty choppy mixed price action on the way up. Potential for an engine wedge. Potential for a head and shoulders. So left shoulder, head, right shoulder. And we've got bespoke resistance at 70.27, which is pretty close to current price action. We've also got a DMARC 13 count that often indicates the end of a trend and the start of a new downward bias. The stop on the DMARC is at 70.60, which is where I'm going to put my stop. I'm just going to leave the target level open because head and shoulders formation, even though it's a 4-hour chart, no chance of getting it today, is miles below. So it's more about the entry and the stop, I suppose. So I'm getting short 70.20, stop at 70.60, and an open target. Obviously closing at 9 o'clock as far as the bull is concerned.
Okay, good luck, Steve.
In it to win it.
I was just going to sort of like shut my eyes and just flick my mouse until
I
clicked
use the
on
dartboard?
Yeah, Joe's got one.
I'll label up the dartboard with some markers.
Yeah, that'd be good. I was actually thinking what would be good is if we choose which market each other analyzes on the Talking Bull, and they've got to analyze it live.
Okay.
And that'd be sort of like just to give people a snapshot of what we would normally look at
I'll do some markets on the dartboard, and I'll throw one in the morning, and then we can decide.
Yeah, you've got to give us 10 minutes notice.
No, got to right there and then.
Is your missus all right with you throwing at the dartboard? The walls look newly painted.
Yeah, there's a few holes in them now. My son's thrown a few rogue darts.
I'm gonna go with. I don't know why Sterling Swiss is at the bottom of my list of markets. I just obviously looked at it for 1 second. On a weekly chart, we had a bearish week last week. Daily chart, we've had this shooting star candle yesterday, and we've had a little bit of follow through this morning. So again, that's a little bit negative. 4-hour chart, you could actually say, are we looking a little bit like a bearish flag? Possibly. Need a break really of the sort of support line. Where would you bring it in? You could draw it there actually, because you've got the 2 candles, 3 candles there. Let's see, let's draw it more accurately. Maybe there. So you could even say we've broken below it. Momentum is obviously stalling. So I'm going to go with this. No other reason for it. Not really thinking about Sterling or Swiss, just looking at the technical picture on it. So I'm going to get short here on the low, obviously. I'm going to be aggressive with it because I am chasing the markets at the moment. So what are we trading? 119.12. I'll put the stop at let's put it at, what's the high on that? 55. Yeah, that's all right. And maybe I'll have a target of around about these levels. Or let's look for a little fib. Where's my fib gonna land?
Well done there.
Yeah, well, around a 76.8 is probably not enough, is it? Unless I make the stop a bit tighter. Let's make the stop a bit tighter.
Unless you go for an 88.6.
Nah, I think that's just clutching at straws, mate.
Just making it up, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. What's the high of the last? 119.24. I'm going to make it a really tight stop. So reckless, absolutely reckless. There we go. I'm gonna go with that. I've rolled the dice. I'm gonna go with getting short here at 119.12. The stop is at 119.32, and the target is 118.44. Let's make it 44.
Good luck.
3.4R.
Good luck.
Good luck, mate. Okay,
I'd rather you didn't say good luck. You always say good luck, and I keep losing.
Sorry. Bad luck, mate.
Yeah.
Calling that a loser now. That's rubbish trade. Okay, so as Ian said, we have Powell talking today, second day of testimony at the semi-annual monetary policy report meeting in Washington. We've had a few UK data points out this morning, and they all look to have come in a bit weaker, hence why we're seeing a bit of weakness in sterling pairs. We have Eurozone CPI at 10 o'clock. Prices are expected to rise by 0.1% year on year, so keep an eye on your Euro crosses if you've got anything open come 10 o'clock. At 1:30 we then have a bit of data from the US and Canada. We have US housing starts and building permits. We're expecting to see a fall of 16% and a permits drop by 14.8%. We also have Canadian CPI at 1:30. Prices expected to fall to 0.8% year on year. And then finally, we have US crude inventories at 3:30, where stockpiles rose by 5.7 million barrels in the preceding week. So keep an eye on that come 3:30 and see what happens, I guess.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Anything
Excellent.
else to add?
No, I think they've heard enough of me this week.
Okay, let's wrap it up there then. Come on, you Gooners, and
Yeah.
we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Lovely.
See you
Cheers.
later.
Cheers.
Bye.
See you, lads.